for our our talk today. Hopefully, we are in the same boat. We need to say one thing, we can all agree that we can use it anything. At the same time, we are not as concerned anymore with regards to AI generation. So, if AI detection saying there's a certain percentage, to me, it's okay. In my case, for example, I showed you 36%. I submit, no problem. So don't be too caught up with this. Some students got very stressed because of it. 80%, how can I make it go? So yeah, it should be a big issue if you understand how it works now. Okay? Because if you are writing a novel, probably then you should try to have it like a rosy and bunga-bunga sikit. But in a scientific article, it should be straightforward. Yeah? So again, we don't have to be here when it comes to scientific writing. Okay, when it comes to utilizing AI, if you are aware or not, basically I like to divide the research cycle or basically the research journey into 4 quadrants. What I call as ideation and planning, first quadrant. After that, we go for execution. After that, data analysis, and lastly, writing and writing. Data analysis, basically all these are related. In anything that we do as a researcher, usually this is the cycle. Even though data analysis is somewhat the same as writing, but basically writing is more that we polish everything. All the sea of data that we have, now we want to make it into one cohesive and have a very good flow of thesis writing or article writing. So any researcher will go through all of this in 4 quadrants. So in each quadrant, you have, for example, ideation planning, research gap, you have to know your research review, your problem statement, and things like that. You go to execution, design of experiment, taking surveys, anything else. And then you have your data analysis. And finally, you go for Viva and writing. The good news is there is an app for all of this. And we're not going to go through all of it. I'll show you one of the few apps that I'm really into all these apps. So my focus today, since we have very limited time, let's go to number 1 and number 4. Okay. Hopefully, number 1 will cover around 1 hour, and another one will cover around 1 hour. Finish for today. Okay. If any continuation of this, maybe we'll discuss later on. Okay. Anyway, let's kick off with ChatGPT. I like to use ChatGPT for several reasons. In fact, for my journal article writing right now, even up to the submission process, I use ChatGPT. For example, cover letter. Anybody here not familiar with cover letter? Can you raise your hand? Cover letter. Everybody knows cover letter. Good. Okay. Cover letter is a headache to do before this time. It will take me 1 or 2 hours just to give a love letter to the editor, basically. Say why this is important, why my research is novel and things like that. Now you can just use ChatGPT in order for you to help with your cover letter. But anyway, since this is the first quadrant, which is the ideation stage, we'll take a look at how ChatGPT can be used as a thesis or journal paper tutor. Some people have already abandoned ChatGPT with regards to research and writing because they say we already checked, giving a lot of false review papers and all this false data. So you get a little bit anxious and nervous to use ChatGPT. So I'll show you a very nice trick in order for you to get a more reliable research when it comes to ChatGPT. So let's open your laptops. If you have your laptop, or maybe with your phones as well, you can use ChatGPT in your phone. Okay. By the way, I'm using the paid version, but all of the things that I'm going to show you, basically we can use as with the free version, so don't worry. Okay. Some express concern. One, other than the hallucination part, is about data privacy, correct? So some of you maybe say, okay, if I put this, is it going to be available somewhere else? People going to take this. From what I understand how ChatGPT works, they will use your data in order to train the model. but it doesn't mean that it's going to leak your information to someone else. Just like what Facebook or whatever else lah kan. So simply put, in my case, I'm not talking about yours. In my case, my litmus test or not to say my how I use my ChatGPT is how I approach my WhatsApp usage. Okay, you already know that WhatsApp is owned by Meta, right? Meta is owned by Facebook lah. Mark Zuckerberg lah, basically. Your WhatsApp. Okay. For some reason, because probably this is a new technology compared to WhatsApp, which is maybe 10 years old, you feel comfortable sharing some sometimes sensitive or private things in WhatsApp, but not in ChatGPT, right? Okay. Keliling apa yang tak masuk dalam your WhatsApp? Keliling lah, your confidential things about your quotation, things like that. It's in your WhatsApp, right? But somehow you feel confident, okay, this is not going to be leaked by Mark Zuckerberg to someone else. So essentially, that's how social media or any apps work. They want your let's say, you as a customer, they will try their best to not leak it out. However, the data might be used. That's why sometimes before this, I had some bad pain. Was chatting with my friends in the group, WhatsApp. Anybody know recommendation where around Kuantan? In the end, in my Facebook, suddenly got the advertisement. So in terms of information, they will take your information. Oh, he wants to urut. So take information pun suddenly all around that's talking about urut in Kuantan. Okay, I already know. The one weirdest thing that I got before this was, I think my phone was in my pocket. My phone was in my pocket at that time. With my friend, I think the only time in my life during that chat during lunch, he was complaining about his house having issue of bats going on his roof lah, shitting everywhere. So hazardous lah. So he was saying, what should I do? Try everything. So we were discussing that. We don't know the solution, but Facebook gave me the solution. Suddenly there's an ad. There's a cage you can put on the ceiling for bats, specifically for bats. I was shocked to say this is the first time I was discussing about bats. Suddenly in the ads of Facebook goes there. So they are taking your data. Right? You like it or not? Even right now, I think they're talking about it. So. I mean, probably after this, they will have workshops about the idea. I don't know lah, in your end, probably. Then hearing with your mind. Okay, so that being said, how I approach the B, even for my research data, I will just download or upload here lah. But let's say if you are really someone who really make privacy as utmost importance. One thing you can do very quickly in ChatGPT is this feature. You go to your ChatGPT, you go at the top there. Should I use the dark mode or the light mode? Is it okay, or should I make it dark? Although let's see. Which one you like better? Dark better. Okay. At the top right, you see this bubble, speech bubble. Click this. You will turn this into temporary chat. What does it say here? This chat won't appear in history, use or update ChatGPT's memory, or be used to train our models. You will say whatever you write henceforth from here will not be used as update ChatGPT, not using training the models and things like that. So you this ChatGPT talking lah kan. So they guarantee this lah. So maybe if they use it, then you can sama ada orang lah kan. But from here they say be confident this is private lah basically. So you put in any information here, anything that you get here is just strictly for this chat. Afterwards, you will not find it in your art chart. This is your art chart, right? It's like here. I think you're familiar lah. All of these are my art charts lah. Everything I ask the ChatGPT, it will not appear. Okay, so it's good for your privacy. The disadvantage is let's say you get a very perfect answer here. Well, then once you go to new chat, immediately you will erase. You cannot find any. So I think I've had twice and I get a very nice response. Suddenly I forgot the budget. I go to new chat. Oh, I forgot this was temporary chat. Already got. I have to be do again. So whichever you want lah kan. You want privacy, then you won't get lah. Save here. But if you're like me who I think already enough lah, not to put in the privacy or temporary chat, then just use like this so that afterwards you can refer back. Okay, that's one thing I want to mention. Usually for AI classes, I usually also mention what should you be prompting in terms of ChatGPT. But given that we have very limited time, I'll show you one shortcut way in order to make a better ChatGPT response. So for example, let's say you want to have 10 references on wakaf for example, wakaf. So maybe you want to write here something specific. So there's some knowledge on that I call it the Sophian framework. S is you have to have a soalan basically. So all of this I put here. But to shortcut it, let's look at this left side. Okay, you will find that there's one called GPTs. There should be one with 4 dots. GPTs. Click on that GPTs. Okay, what is GPT? If you want to get a very good response from ChatGPT, you have to actually specify a lot of things. The role of ChatGPT, the outcome, the output, the objective, the tone, if you must do that. But in this case, what GPTs are some experts who already know how to prompt properly. Prompt meaning you whatever thing that you write, because we don't call it programming or coding, we call it prompting. So they've already prompt for you and specify that particular GPT to be very good at something. For example, you have here, you look at here, there's several tabs, right? So they say that I want to go for productivity, you go for productivity, and all these are like kind of like a store, app store for you to find which one is related to yours. So let's say this is for video, and this is for making diagrams. You can take a look for education they have, for writing they have. So in our case, you can take a look at research and analysis. So these are the things. You have finance and economics, activity plus for the AI. What I like to use is not in this top or top 6. Or in fact, it's not in the top 12. I don't know why. Used to be top. So you can actually search here, and if you can find it inside here, you can actually search up here. Type in consensus. Consensus. Enter. You will get this. Bigger. So you can see. Okay, consensus. You have this with this logo, then this is the one that I want to go for. So you click on that. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I understand, even in the research analysis. Okay. Approach this as if you're approaching buying something in Shopee. Okay, what do I mean by that? Look at the star rating. Okay, 4 and above is good. Because people use and people say, oh, this is very good. Yeah. So you have to start getting here with things all this. So 4 and above is good. And look at also the conversation and conversations. So this is kind of like how many sold in Shopee. If you see 1 sold, you're PC maybe scam. But if 1,000 sold, you're more confident. So like this also the same. So you have some limitations. For example, and research GPT, only 1,000 conversation compared to 50 million. So you already know this has been trained a lot and with all the responses that you give. People say, oh, this good response, this bad response. So people have been trained a lot. So this is a good one. So you start check. By the way, I'm not affiliated with consensus. I'm not promoting, even not in with ChatGPT. So this is just because I like the response from ChatGPT. Okay. What I'm doing now is basically I don't have to think about all the nitty-gritty nitty-gritty details of the prompting lah. I have to say you are an expert in a world expert in scientific research. You write a lot. You don't have to say that. This one already say you are expert in research. You can see the introduction here lah, as the research separately. Okay. By the way, I will also show you the real app lah. This is by Consensus app. Consensus have millions of papers already in the app. So because of that reliability, probably ChatGPT say, hey, why don't we collaborate? You put like a mini Consensus mini in ChatGPT, so we can use it here. Okay. Later on, I'll show you also Consensus and how it can also help you with your with your research. Anyway, so here now you don't have to give all the details, just straightforward what you want to ask. Okay. Number one thing you have to understand with ChatGPT, it's a must for you for the prompting to ask it something or give it a command. That's wajib. Number one thing wajib, you cannot say a statement like I'm tired or something like that. Sometimes people sometimes people do that. I'm tired. So you say, what do you want to do? What do you want? Apa yang awak nak di dunia ni kan? So it's not clear. So you have to say lah, I'm tired, can give me some ways I can sleep better, whatever lah. So that is the most important key point. Okay. So what is stress? That is a question. Or give me a direct plan. That is a task. Okay. Task or question is most important in ChatGPT. So regardless, you already have a super researcher here to help you out. You can now ask it lah. For example, give me. You can test with your own yeah. Give me, because afterwards this is going to be in your bar chart. So you can take a look. I'm not giving the prompts here, but I'll give you the simple prompts. Give me, for example, 5 recent papers in your field. Wakaf in Malaysia, for example. Okay. Then you can simply write 2020 to 2025. Usually when you talk about in journal writing, when you talk about written, it's usually 5 years and younger lah. 2001, you don't consider that as recent. It's 5 years and younger. So let's say 2025, so from 2020 to 2025. So if you use it like this in ChatGPT, you will get hallucination for sure. Okay. But now you have a super researcher with you, a Consensus. Now I will help you out. Just like this, you will understand. Okay, let's take a look at what it gives us. You see, it's going to the Consensus app and taking out all the details. So here are 5 recent academic papers focused on wakaf in Malaysia. Okay, wakaf tempoh, satu cadangan pengiktirafan is 2024, 2021, 21, 20. So it's still focused on recent time. We give it a year, 2020 to 2025, then it will focus on that. So good thing is for you, especially for literature, master students, PhD students, you want to find recent literature, don't take something that is 10 years old. Because that's the end of the question. Anyway. So again, if you have a paper, or if you want to do computer review, it's better that you take the research trends. So it's good for your Bible. At the same time, it's good for your article writing. You need to say people it is a hot topic right now, right? So don't take something that is hot 10 years ago. You will not get cited. You will not be your paper will not be read. So it's good that we have something recent. Okay. Now the question is this valid real or not? Is it fake or not? So let's try to find out. Okay, I'm going to take this one because it's in English. open your Google Scholar. Mine used to be Google Scholar Canada. Let's look at. Okay, copy paste this. Make sure for this kind of how do you say, investigation, you put in the rabbit ears lah, the parenthesis. This is ilmu your Google Scholar, Google search knowledge lah basically. Let's say you have, in my case, I'll just show you, for example, my topic is friction stir welding. Okay. What happens if I just search? You see here, I get about 194,000 results. Can read lah, 1,094 results. Why? Because if I don't put the thing there, it's not glued together. All these three can be separated. You need to say the chatbot will find, not chatbot, the Google bot will find friction, stir, welding, will find friction, stir, will find friction, will find stir, will find welding. Yeah, you need to say, and lah, you have I'll find friction, stir, welding, and I'll find friction, stir, and I'll find friction, and I'll find stir, welding, and I'll find welding. Yeah. So you get a lot of results. So you won't go everything lah, and 194 results too much. So you want to make sure I want specific friction, stir, welding. Put this to parenthesis. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. It's like you're talking lah, kan. Now it's glued together. I mean, meaning to say, Google Scholar or Google Search, find only this specific word. Don't find friction, don't find stir. Friction, stir, welding only. Okay. You see, it's already cut down 15,000. Because this is too broad of a topic, but then again, that's what I'm saying here. If you want to find the title, the best way is like this, so that if not, if the title is too long like this, you will find implementation, find ijara, and it's too much. Okay, so I want this as a title. Let's see if it's very fun. Okay, alhamdulillah. This is my first time doing this. Implementation of exactly this one, nothing else. One search only. Because I want this order, only this topic, this title. Don't want anything else. So you get this. Okay, let's try another one. Just to see you eliminate a lot of hallucinations. Before this 10 out of 10. But let's see. Ada juga. Ada tak cuba? Ada cuba? Okay, I'm not sure why. For example, good thing is maybe still needs to do some confirmation. Looking at this, but this one first time I say what 5 out of 5 ni. For now, 2 of it I can get it. And it's betul lah. But I've heard some people not get. I don't know why. Probably bahasa Melayu. I don't know. But for me personally, I practice semua buat hasil lah. You can try out. Saya tak pasti kenapa ada yang tak ada lah. But for me, for now okay lah. So it's better lah. Rather than tadi 10 out of 10 salah. Now already check 2 out of 5 dah betul kan. Tak nak buang masa lah go everything. But if you can try to check your own If not, another suggestion would be take a look at the GPT tadi. Maybe find another one that you can try and error. So ada a few Scholar AI. There's another one, Scholar GPT. I've tried with Scholar GPT. Dia punya result tak apa ni lah. So in my case, the consensus is the best lah. Consensus. Okay. Another one you might want to try is size space. Ini pun another one. So you look at size space. I've not tried this before. Oh, internet connections unstable. Size SCI SPACE. Okay, Summary space. This one also not bad, 4.35 million compared to consensus, very banyak consensus. But here, instantly access 287 billion papers. So try your field, compare, and which one is better, then maybe you can stick to that.
Betul.
Yes.
Betul, kalau paper yang memang bukan open source, dia boleh check juga kan?
Yes.
Boleh.
Consensus, even consensus, some of these are severe papers yang there's a paper. But the thing is, you cannot ask the whole text idea. Let's say you have a specific name, you can ask for summary, you can ask for the abstract, things like that. But you cannot get everything. So,
Kiranya kalau dia summarizekan paper yang bukan open source, memang dia sama daripada whole paper ke atau memang daripada whole paper?
I'll show you after this the consensus tab. But here I'm just doing, for example, you want to a quick summary of the paper of the list. Okay. I'm going back. You see this paper from workup. Okay. Again, this is already here showing consensus. If you say ChatGPT, then meaning it's the normal one. You won't get anything straight as this. Okay, now you have good thing. Let's say gone through. Okay, I'm satisfied all 5 recent papers. This one I asked for 5. So you want 20, put 20. Up to you. Okay, just referring to this one, you have all this key finding, focus, highlight, things like that. Let's say I want to make a literature review matrix. What is literature review matrix? Basically, you compile all your papers into one table in Excel form. Usually traditionally we put in Excel. You put number 1, 2, 3, do whatever. Then your year of the publication, the author name, and what are the findings, what are the, for example, sometimes you put in research there, right, just to emphasize that. So you can immediately say here, make a literature review matrix from papers. Okay. What I'm doing is what we call in terms chain prompting. Meaning, already the top part they already understand. So you are just continuing this in this chat. If you want suddenly, okay, I'm not doing workup, I'm doing something about football, for example, you have to open another chat. Don't put it here. So it's confusing for ChatGPT. Okay, now you're talking about football, tadi workup. So it's confusing to that. If you want to still focus on this, then you can just say and make a literature review matrix. So it's also good for you because if you jump from one, you might get answer, but after 1 year you want to find it, it's going to be difficult. You have to say. So especially just stick to one. Okay. So make a literature review matrix from these papers. That's what I'm asking. I have 5 papers now. I want it to go and make the table for me. This brothers and sisters used to take me myself maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Just compiling all the papers, reading them, and putting all the information inside. Now you can actually do the reverse. Basically, you have this, find the paper, and just make sure the details here are correct. Last time you have to read all the paper and everything, and then jot down somewhere, and then put on a matrix. Now you have within 1 minute, 2 minutes, you already get this. Amazing. Look, you have the title, authors, year, focus, key findings, and for each one. So again, the only thing left to do now, find the paper, look at the focus and key finding, is it valid or not? You can probably say, like, let's say you go already done a few times, 10 times, for example, and it seems valid, and okay, now you are confident is inside each paper. Okay. Now, we have it, we still can actually check, and they say I created literature review matrix, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we can still check and revise this table in according to what you want. For example, for your master basis students, particularly here, if you want to make a good literature review matrix, do it in chronological order. Meaning to say, if you want to take even up to 10 years back, put the oldest one at the top up to the new one. So in this case, you can see first 2024, and then 2021, and then 2020. So it's not good order lah. So what I suggest, especially for my case, I'm campaign. I'm not sure. I think probably all research are the same. Meaning you want to see what has been done before, what theory has been done before, and what other people have maybe improved in your research. Right? So you can ask here, do it, and maybe don't go for bombastic words, and just simple words. Do it in descending order. Descending or ascending? Ascending. Ascending order. I actually chronological lah, maybe. Sorry again. It's a bit bombastic now. But you get my idea, right? We in a chronological order. Hopefully, it's going to start from 2020, 2021, 2024. Same thing, it will redo again. Look at 20, 2021, 2024. Okay. That's why it's good to use consensus, because consensus already been filled with all these literature scientific report. It knows what a literature review matrix looks like. And if you give this kind of simple and make it to the chronological, it understands why the logic behind it. Right? Okay. What else can we improve this with this table? What else would you like to know? Okay. This is a simple one, meaning you have here the author, focus, and key findings. Let's say you want to know research gap. Research gap. We'll try to improve it. Hopefully, you'll improve. So, there should be another column. Research gap. So, kita memang ada paper lah, jadi paper lah, kita nak apa you? Okay, research here. So I think it helps a lot, and especially for master students, you're new in the field, especially first semester, second semester. Now you know like, okay, this is how we think as a scholar or researcher. Okay, these are research gap and stuff like that. So this helps a lot. Before this, you'll take 1 week or 2. Now just few minutes only. Okay. So up to you lah. Sometimes you want parameters and add parameters or whatever. Okay. Now you want this in your what, Word or Excel? ChatGPT, the good thing about ChatGPT that DeepSeek can do is it can convert to Word, Excel, PDF, whatever else. Why this is the case? Because Microsoft have invested in ChatGPT as well. They say, okay, yalah, baliknya if you allow you to do that. But in terms of DeepSeek, probably Google Sheet possible. I'm not sure, but Word we cannot. So in this case, they say, okay, it's tedious for us to copy paste all here. So just mention directly convert to Word. Mention convert to Word. Don't say convert to Microsoft Word copyright. He understands now that you want this table converted to Word. Now you have this. Okay. For the free version, most of you probably using the free version. I don't recommend you to go for the subscription unless you are a heavy user. We've been using data analytics in there, but like once a week or 2 times a week, then I don't recommend. Just use the free version. The only setback for the free version, you can do upload and download 3 times a day. So like if you really this is what I want, then okay, convert to Word right now. Don't okay, I forgot to put this one, and then you convert again 3 times, and then you say wait for tomorrow or pay up lah. So either way, this is the but let's say this is what we want. I click this. Okay. I open my Word. I have my beautiful detergent. Because usually we do inilah sikit lah kan, sikit. So easier lah now you can actually in some cases you also give the link to consensus showing this is a real paper lah kan, it's not real lah. So as I mentioned, I think this one we already checked, this is a real paper. I think this one Indonesia Udara also real paper lah, so you can check the others. It's in chronological order, okay, 2020 to 2024. Also now we add research gap because we do chain prompting. As you can see, my command now is very simple. Convert to Word, add research gap, and once you already have something like this at the top, give me 5 research papers in Waka Indonesia, kan? And afterwards you just make it to improve lah kan, make it to metrics, create in with a chronological order, add research gap, convert to Word, etc. If you want it in Excel, you can add convert to Excel, convert to PDF, convert to image, maybe possible, but usually we don't use image lah. Still, if you use Word, then you still have ways to add on, yeah, or you have to delete anything lah. Okay. Now, since you are new to journal article writing, another thing that I would also suggest for you to still use consensus. I'm going to use a new chat here. Okay. Go to consensus again. Okay. That one already inside my archive. You can see the recent papers on Waka. So it's okay lah. Again, refer back and then I still can continue. But in this case, okay. One thing I also will show again. Let's go back to this one. Let's say, I made a mistake. This is convert to Word. I don't want convert to Word. I want to convert to Excel. You can click to this Excel, edit the message. You can get Excel or anything else. Okay. Or let's say you don't understand what this is. Let's say you don't understand what it is explaining. You can highlight this, and then you can and you put here. Then you can add what does it mean. This is simple. Let's say it's a very long explanation. Then you can ask. You can just highlight. Ask ChatGPT. It's already in there, and just that it will help you understand more. It's a tool researcher, blah, blah, blah. So what you should put here usually there. Okay. Going back to a new chat. Okay, this one is just a simple thing to do. But let's say you want to go back to consensus again. Now, what I want to do is, let's start chat. Let's say you're going to say, I want you by the end of the semester to write a systematic literature review. Okay, bro, I'll do that. But in the back of your mind, what on earth is a systematic literature review? I've heard a review paper before. This is systematic literature, I don't know. And consensus, given that it has looked into all types of papers, you can assume consensus to be a tutor for you, research tutor or writing tutor. So in this case, you can just ask what the types of review papers. How, and this simple, but if you want to be very specific, go to your title. And how can I write such papers, such review paper for my topic of Abdullah? Remember, this is the first chat, so it doesn't understand your topic. And if you just say my topic, you'll be very general. So, for example, one of the don't worry if you have any you want to use short form or there's some error, some simple error, you will understand. Don't worry. You need to be upset. Okay, now you can learn very quickly that there are several types of review papers. Narrative review, I've been doing this most of my PhD. Systematic review, I've never done this before. There is scoping review, meta-analysis, critical review, interrogative review. Now you understand the differences between each one. So that when you do your review paper, your supervisor say, oh, this was not what I want, and I want it systematic, why you give me narrative. Now you understand more. So, how to write a review paper on automation? So it's giving you ideas. So let's say if I want to choose, let's say choose a review type of review lah, narrative review or scoping review, and identify the scope. You have like step-by-step analysis of how to do this. Okay. Now let's say I want to do systematic setup, systematic usage review. Immediately it will give, it understands you're talking about the Wakaf in Malaysia topic on systematic review. It's giving us good information for that thing. Yeah, so this I don't know if you're familiar or not. Systematic review uses Prisma. You know this? Okay, even if you don't know okay, now first time I know, then you just highlight this as ChatGPT and what is Prisma, then it will give you. There's a guideline for using Prisma. Even if you are creative enough, make Prisma for my topic, give me convert it to Word, and then you just find out what because in systematic review, you have to show that you fulfill all the Prisma criteria, right? Each one, there is like, I don't remember, like 20, 30, something like criteria. If you don't fulfill at least even one, then you will, the editor will reject your paper, right? So, in order for you to get a good Prisma thingy, maybe you can just put convert a table of Prisma for me for this Wakaf in Malaysia, and then it will give you step by step what you should put in this part, what should you put in this part. Yeah, here already step by step guide. Everything here. No more, and nothing else to give any excuse. I don't know how to do this. It's already here. So you can take a look. Okay. Any question on this one? It's someone straightforward. Okay. Now, for example, let's say if you already have a paper. So I'll show you an example of my paper. I'm cutting short things because we are limited of time. So let's say I'll go for new chat again. Go for consensus again. Okay. By the way, have you realized, especially for if you're doing a lot of mathematics, the mathematics calculation is very bad in ChatGPT. You realize that? And sometimes you calculate back using a calculator, it doesn't get what you want. So the first approach is in GPT, you have one called Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram. Okay. So if you are into mathematics, this is a famous website Wolfram Alpha. So again, as GPT say, Wolfram, you're very famous in mathematical calculations, simulation. So why don't we collaborate? So it's collaborating with Milan. The remain you know because it's Wolfram.com. Meaning to say it's not from individuals. Sometimes it's from individuals. For example, this one. This one was made by Juan Carlos. This one by Raj Gupta. I'm not saying it's bad, but if you want like very reliable one, go for the ones with consensus, size space, whatever. So in this case, already 4 million compared to just 1K here, 4 million conversations. Access computation, math, chemistry, theoretical knowledge, and real time. So you can try to look at this one and make sure you can look at pages. In our case, let's go back to writing consensus. Okay. I'm giving an example of a paper. Let's say I have a paper. Just showing you the paper. This is a full-blown paper, basically already completed. Everything is there with the references and things like that. Now, I'm comfortable enough to put this in ChatGPT. And if you're not, then it's up to you. But let's say I want to put it, I'm just showing you some other things that you can actually do with consensus. Okay. One is you can upload file, Word, Excel, whatever. Now you can actually also download things. Yeah. Okay. Again, if you have like, for example, SLR, you have your Prisma like a Word file and to go through. And let's say for example, this is a systematic literature paper I want to use. You can add your own Prisma, the Prisma Word and your thing here, then ask it to see whether it fits. Okay. Let's say I have another file saying all the criteria in Prisma. Put it here. Okay. Can you check whether this one has been fulfilled or not? So it can give you some suggestions there. In my case, okay, let's say this is this one thing. Okay. Why? So that, yeah. This is the paper I'm talking about. I actually can improve a lot from here. One thing I suggest is that for the introduction part, maybe probably can have some get some ideas from ChatGPT. But along the way, at the bottom here, then it's going to be your own, right? Because you are the one who knows the research gap, what you want to emphasize, and things like that. And this is your objective usually at the end. Then experimental method, do your own. You're the only one who knows more than probably your own supervisor, kan? What you use, your sample, your duration, your everything. Here, don't rely on ChatGPT. If you on your own or anything else. Okay, your results also the same thing. And maybe it can give you some idea, but in the end, you are the one who knows how to interpret the data. So this one also should be less of detection when it comes to AI because this is uniquely yours. So in my case, this is going to be figure 2A to D with this kind of numbering of the sampling, and all of this is curated by you and you made it yourself. You ask ChatGPT, it doesn't know your research. So how can it know very detailed how it can explain? So in this case, then you can actually do by your own. Probably conclusion, you can get some aid from ChatGPT. But one thing I want to show you is for the abstract. Okay. For the abstract, let's say you have already used your own abstract like this. What you can actually ask ChatGPT to do is improve your abstract. Not only your abstract, I would suggest you also improve your title. Okay. I want to put here what I did here actually. Okay. I put it here. Actually, it's at the back because anyway, I'll just show you what I'm doing here. Okay, improve my title and right review as we go in. Okay. Remember, this is consensus GPT. I'm using the consensus one. There's the logo there. I'm not using the common ChatGPT. But now I'm saying improve my title and answer or and answer to be SEO friendly. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah, yes, I'll go there. Go there. I'm asking you. I'm expecting you to answer the question. Let's see. Put this one. Senang. I just want to show you some things that you can actually do with your channels. Improve my title, provide 3 suggestions, and attract to be SEO friendly. What is SEO friendly? Search engine optimization. What does it mean? Okay. This idea I developed myself basically, and because I have some idea of the marketing side of social media. I would say maybe probably I'm the one and only guy who's going to talk about SEO in a research workshop. Because usually people don't talk about this in research. They usually talk about it in marketing or you want to sell product. Okay, what it is basically you want your your posting or your website to be found by Google lah, when people search. Okay, if you want Google to search, people to search your find your website, you have to put in a lot of keywords that people like to type in Google. That's what is called search engine optimization lah. Meaning to say, hot trend right now what? For example, what was the hot trend right now? Patah Hamin lah contohnya kan, again, Patah Hamin. So, if you realize, sometimes if you look into our Facebook post, for example, right, nothing to do with Patah Hamin pun. For some reason, people say, mengingat apa, kahwinan Patah Hamin yang Amir Osman ni mengingat saya tentang kehidupan saya waktu kecil dulu kan. There's a reason why people put that. Because people are searching for Patah Hamin tu. Nothing to do with him pun, has no relation with Patah Hamin. But the moment you put in Patah Hamin, it's a hot trend right now, it will come up with your Google search nanti lah kan. So, people underestimate the power of search engine optimization when it comes to research, because when we talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to show you. Kita say that ini dalam, I think it's like plus 2, I think it was too much. Okay. I actually asked ChatGPT lah. Okay. What are the things that Google Scholar will look into when it comes to your journal paper? Okay, number one is if you have a lot of citations beforehand. So you are a prominent person in that field. So if let's say I put in cuba workshop saya dua hari. I kind of translate everything. Okay, here, fiction story. You can see number one, 10,000 citation, 600 and 600 citation, submitted by 600 people. This one, the most lah. And in my field, Mishra is memang giant lah. In my field, Ma pun also another giant professor in human field lah. Okay, 10,000 citations. Okay, we cannot compete with them lah. You are up and coming researcher. How can you compete with the 10,000 citations? So the second thing you can do, the best thing actually after citation and also the name is about your title, whether it's relevant or not. Your title and your abstract. So if you want people to go and take a look at your paper, then it's best that you do SEO. So now I just put here, make sure my title is SEO friendly, meaning to say find hot trendy keywords in my field that people are searching. Hopefully people will find my paper. Because in the end, some people, I've seen papers that are very like 3 lines long of a title and very, very specific. Do you think people will search very, very specific term? No. In my case, okay, my field is fiction story. I won't go very, very detailed, just go fiction story. That's the first thing I'll go with. So the same thing goes, very detailed title is not a good way for you to get attention. So in the end, it's not about citation. Basically, to me, it's about disseminating the knowledge. We want hopefully after we die after this, people still get something or benefit from our paper, and hopefully we get pahala lah kan, budget from there lah. And bukan sekadar, okay, I want page index or things like that. So in this case, now it's giving me, okay, an improved title. Texture evolution, probably lah. I don't have time to take a look at all these title things like that. Ask ChatGPT to look into Google and what the trendy keywords names. So texture evolution, maybe I should put in grain refinement is another word in my field. It's not trendy as Patah Hamin lah, of course, but at least I know now this is a trendy word in my field. So from this suggestion, maybe is a good thing. Okay. Another thing why I asked for abstract SEO friendly as well is because these are the two things in your paper that is your gateway to people reading your paper. The only two things that can actually you can actually read lah kan, when let's say that this is a paywall, at least you can actually read the title and also the abstract kan. So if people are interested, okay, I want to be in the PDF lah. If not, find something else lah kan. So if you're using trendy keywords like this and abstract, maybe it's difficult to see, but the ChatGPT is highlighting lah. This is a trendy keyword. Itu nak simplicity trendy keyword kan. So So now I know probably I should be using this now. Again, if you're using consensus, it's already having a lot of maybe millions of articles already read by this app. So now it knows how abstract should look like. You see, abstract this study examines. Okay. My second question, I have two questions when it comes to this. One is plagiarism or not? Why? Why not plagiarism? It's from my paper. It's from my paper. Saya tak ambil already. Yeah. It's my paper. I said improve what I've done already. Yeah. Or like let's say if you want, let's say usually people do abstract at the end lah, kan? So let's say like you already done introduction, so probably you can just suggest lah, suggest punya abstract for this. So you already know first is introduction, second is objective, and things like that. Kan? So you will see something like this. Now people cannot say this is a plagiarism. It's from my paper, and all these details are from my paper. Right? This is not from somewhere else. This is from my paper. This one, all these numbers, this is from my paper. So plagiarism, no. And the title also no plagiarism. It will give me this title based on the content of my paper and nothing else. Okay. Second question: if I put this in the AI detection, will it be detected as AI? Unfortunately, yes. Why? Huh? The simple fact that this is SEO friendly, meaning to say people type that keyword a lot, maybe millions of times in Google. So when it's very common, people say, oh, I've seen this word before, I've seen all of these sentences before, so I be detected. Okay. Do I care about that? In my case, no. What I care is people starting finding my paper. Okay, you can make a like 3-line title, right? 3-line title, very specific to your field. People are not going to see it. It's going to be in the 20th page of Google Scholar. You don't get citation. You don't get your knowledge is not disseminated, right? What I care is people seeing this. Unfortunately, AI is copying what people are seeing. So that's why the detection is saying, oh, this probably is AI. So okay. You win, I take it. Take this, saying this is a so abstract, probably saya dah buat up lah basically. And I take it lah. Title also, introduction also. If you want to take it, so okay, because introduction is topics and I cannot define in any other way anyway. So I take it as is lah. So I think it's one way. Maybe you've not thought about this before. Probably this is actually a very good way to improve your website, improve your title. Hopefully, your citation, your read count of your paper will become better. Right? Okay. Good idea. All right. Let's go to consensus state before I go to the writing stage. Okay, this is again ideation. Okay, again, we see the consensus mini at work tadi. Now let's look at one consensus. Soalan ke? Oh, tak ada.
Ada.
Silakan saya.
If you go back to your chat tadi, on your manuscript, right?
Okay.
So now you have no text of manuscript. So how are you to do that? It is not represented. Then kalau kita buat teknik nanti plagiarism detection tu macam mana? Is it represented that study can detect?
This is not publishable item. Technique ini it will detect almost the same if it's in technique itself or it's been published. This is not published. Then again, let's say like for me, sometimes my students share their paper with me on WhatsApp or in Yahoo Messenger. Kan? Why is it that I'm not worried that that's going to be somewhat detected by the if the victim can penetrate that, then means the safety is very bad lah, security. So then again, this is in your private account. even your significant other cannot see it unless you show it lah, kan? So that's the case lah. What I understand, this is not going to be lah. Okay. That's one thing lah I want to emphasize. Unless you already published and you not published, then it's a different thing lah. This is not published material yet. This is just you checking with your own account lah. Okay. Any other question? Again, if you are not, let's say I don't want to put my document, but I put my abstract, I put my title, just my title and abstract, no data, anything else. My concern is that it will give me a very vague idea of the content. You will try to guess what your content is. You won't know very detailed. But if I give you, if I give my paper like this, I will go through my paper. Oh, this is one keyword, SEO keyword, but he didn't even mention in this abstract. So I have to put it in the abstract. If not, if I give my abstract, it's just improving my abstract. You understand what I'm saying? So my suggestion, put everything. Inshallah, I cannot guarantee for you. I'm not saying the representative. But I'm comfortable enough to put in for it to improve the paper. Ada soalan ni? If not, let's look at consensus. Okay. Due to time, I'll just go very quickly on consensus and probably there's another one, but time to go through this. Consensus.app, you can actually sign up with your Google lah. Maybe I have not used it for too long, the globally lah. But just sign up with your Google. It's also free. You don't have to pay. And there's a free, most of the apps available online, what we call as premium lah. You have the free version and also the premium version or the subscription one. What I'm showing to you is the free version one lah. Meaning to say, I'm also very particular. If let's say when I open that app, already asking me for my credit card number, I don't go lah. How good it is, I'm sorry lah. I want to teach my students also to use it. Then again, probably they don't even have credit cards. So why am I burdening my students? So I don't want to find that kind of thing. This, for example, is really good. Okay. So what? So you said that there are promo. So yeah. But what this is actually what I call apps that are Google Scholar on steroids. Anybody use Consensus before? Okay. Okay, very good. So different from Google Scholar, what you are in Google Scholar, you put in keywords. This keyword, feature survey, and you find a paper, you download the paper, you read. This one you don't need to do that anymore. Just write anything that you want to ask about your research directly. Okay. Alright. For example, again, I give you a very simple example. There's a reason why I did this. It's very good for your literature review, especially your masters or your PhD. Is eating dates. It's just like chatting lah. Okay. Good for you. Cuma not eating your date, something else lah. Eating dates, cuma. Okay, so you have immediately a concise summary lah of your question. It's not like Google search anymore. Google search, they just give you papers, and now you have all this. So there is one very simple, straightforward answer. Yes, it is good for you. Okay. We have this, what we call as consensus meter. I'll show you the power of this consensus meter afterwards. But you can see here the summary, overall summary. Just like a miniature summary or miniature literature review already, all of this. Okay. Now, you have also key claims, conclusion, and here are the papers related. So these are real papers, it's not made up because all the details are there. 2020, 147 citation, and this is the journal, this is the title, this is the how do you say short answer or the in a nutshell version of the paper. Then for open access ones, you can actually go for PDF lah kan. Click on this, then you get the PDF immediately lah from UPM. So there's some actually you can actually download lah. Actually, kat sini tadi. Okay, so you get the abstract here lah. Why not everything, but maybe you have to put here. So anything else? Everything you have here, giving me a lot more. 20 papers on this simple question, is eating dates good for you? Before this, maybe you have to write in Google dates health lah kan, to get a lot of papers. But here you just write whatever question you have, what is the recent trend in your what is the recent trend in wakaf in Malaysia, for example. You get all this information. If 20 is not enough for you, go load more results, get more answers. Okay. You can actually this is free. The free version already giving you all of this, and some parts it has actually changed the interface as well. Anyway, you can actually filter this as well. You go to filter. You can say, okay, you want the papers past 5 years, or when you want it at 2020 or whatever. General rank, you want only the best ones. You can say, okay, I want Q1 only. I don't want anything else, for example. If not, just leave it like this. You can exclude preprints. You only want open access. What methodology you want? If you have animal study, case report, literature review. I only want the randomized control trial. I don't want the non-randomized. And you can just filter everything here. Sample size, duration, macam-macam. Fields of study. What is your field of study? And it will filter for you. Okay. So again, your question here can be anything. Research trend, what is the literature review on this part, or whatever. Is AI good for you? Maybe you can ask it like this. Okay, why I ask this question? This is a research question that has a yes or no answer. Okay, you can ask something else. For example, give me a recent review on wakaf in Malaysia. So that is general. It's not a yes or no question. This is a yes or no question. Why I'm using yes or no question is I want to trigger this consensus meter. So what it does is, it says here, from 18 papers, the app reads, from the 18 papers, 61% say yes, 39% say possibly, means 0, no 0. So immediately, I'm not in the field of dates, but immediately I know the trend right now is inclining towards yes, possibly or yes. Nothing is saying yet mixed, or nobody is saying no. Okay. Well, I see this is important especially for master or PhD students. Let's say I have this question, this burning question, research question, is eating this good for you? After I get this result, would I decide that this is a good research question for me or not? Is this a good question for me now that I know this answer? This consensus meter. Is it a good question or not? Good research question or not? Would you go with, maybe you have several research questions. This is one of it. Let's say you're in dates. So is this good for you or not? Is it a good question for me to pursue in my study or not? No. I agree. This is not a good question. Why? Consensus saying yes and possibly already. It's not debated anymore. Why you want to debate with the majority of the scholars? You will have a big trouble when it comes to your Bible and thing. Okay, let's say for some reason you still want to do this. In the end of your Bible, your research, you concluded, yes, actually dates are bad for you. Okay, you go in the Bible and say, okay, in conclusion, I want to say dates are bad for you. In front of probably 3 professors in front of you, experts in dates who are with the majority. How can you defend yourself? You have an uphill battle to convince all 3 professors in front of you who already have, titles in a lot of papers in dates saying it's beneficial. Suddenly you're saying it's wrong, or you're wrong. So it's an uphill battle. On the other hand, same thing. Let's say you still want to go with this and you do your research and you say yes. In conclusion, dates are good for you. The panels will say everybody knows. My Darjah satu daughter knows that it's good for you. Why you want to do this question? Understand me? So you can actually try out with all your research questions here and see if there is some still not in consensus. Yeah? For example, is AI good for classroom or not? For learning? Yeah. I have a daughter, my eldest daughter is in Tingkatan 1 in Malaysia. They are still debating whether to give tablet to the students or not. Yeah. And then some parents say yes, some parents say no. Some giving even like scientific papers in the WhatsApp group. Debating, okay, no, we're going to agree. This is scientific proof. Oh, we agree. This is scientific proof. Meaning to say there's no consensus yet. That is a good research question for you to do. In the end, then it's still debatable, so it's good for you. So this is particularly for people who are still starting offline. But the only thing to trigger this consensus is if it's a yes or no question. If you ask very general big question, then it won't trigger this one. So is AI good for the classroom or not? Probably there's still debate going on. Okay, it's consensus. Another one that I don't have time to talk about is size space. Also similar to consensus. SCI, SPH. Somewhat similar, but now it has already upgraded. But given that I already talked to P, I think I expect I go to the writing session. This is also free. You can try it out. But now it has some macam tokens right? It's 100 tokens. So a little bit limited. Consensus is still around free. You can actually get as a lot. Still, you can call it this. Still in the free version. So still very good. So you can try the check. Size space, I'm sorry, I don't have time to explain about this. I want to skip. If you don't have any question on this one? Okay. I want to skip from this one, ideation planning, straight to the writing and my stage. Okay. This one, I want to show you one app called Jenny.ai. Jenny.ai. So we can change the logo on this logo anymore. Okay, you can type in Jenny.ai. Again, these are apps that I tried. I suggest to my students as well. I can actually show you a lot of other apps, but I'm not using anyway, so why should I suggest to you, right? So I'm showing only the ones that I use. Okay, log in. This is, you can also log in with Google search, Google account. Okay, this is a writing app that is very, very powerful in terms of research writing. However, such app is usually not completely free. Yeah, ask around. If you know any app that is completely free, wisdom. It's something like Grammarly, Quillbot, and I think you know about this. If you're like, let's say you are a hack, everybody get Grammarly account for free, and then by all means go ahead with Grammarly lah, kan? This is the one that I found out somewhere else, but you can actually use it lah. But the free version there's some limitations. 200 words per day. So yeah, punya limitation. 200 words per day. So maybe that's your motivation lah to write every day. One paragraph every day. That's good enough. Okay. So you can log in. To sit here, I want to show you some examples. You can log in at or sign up with your Google account, and then you can actually write what you want to write. Let's say I'm just gonna take from my paper here, microstructure, texture, evolution, blah blah blah. Okay. I put it here. Okay. So it's saying here, this is a great prompt, meaning to say, Jenny, being also an expert in all these papers, and know that this title has a lot of keywords and information you can extract after this. If you just give very general and literature review on Waka, for example, then it's very difficult for Jenny to help you out. Otherwise, like this, it says it's a great prompt. And for example, I just put friction stir welding, I told you before, friction stir welding. And here it says weak prompt. So add more context for high quality generation. Okay. So in my case, I want to put everything here. Here is friction stir welding here, but I already have this. So you can try with your own paper and your title. Maybe say good prompt or great prompt. Okay. Then you can ask it to generate outline, whether standard headings, smart headings, or no headings. If you want to start blank, then no headings. Okay. Treat it as like something like Word. But if you want no headings, then just choose these no headings. Smart headings is for review papers. Because review papers doesn't follow the typical template like an abstract, introduction, methodology. They don't really use that. Actually, there are several topics that is unique. But let's say this is because it's a typical paper, research paper, so we go with the standard headings, introduction, methods, results, blah blah. Okay, start writing. You can. Anyone have trouble with the opening journey? With them here? Yes.
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 What are your suggestions? Is it like standard headings or smart headings?
Again, so standard headings is for original research paper. So you can see the standard headings will be introduction, literature review, and given that this is a paper's original research paper, but if you want for review paper, then go for the smart headings. It won't give you something like this. It will be like teacher outcome, teacher direction, or something like that. Like that. It will be smart headings. Okay. Now, this is the big question. I think this is big question. For the free version, you will see at the bottom here, there's like 200. So that's the count. Okay. What happens if okay, by default, it is going to be auto-opt-in. Okay. See what happens if I put my cursor here. Already immediately it's giving me a sentence. Whether I want to accept it or not. Okay. Be careful, don't accept it if you don't want it, because if you accept, then it's going to count. This is the number of words already used. Okay, I leave it for the cursor for a few seconds. Another one. Come on. Yeah. Biar lagi, comes up again. Okay, mine is a print. Don't do like this. Saya unlimited. Jangan buat kamu habis. Okay. Now, Jenny is intelligent enough to know this is in the introduction section. Okay. But then again, I mentioned before, methodology should be your own writing, and you only know. So, okay, I can go to my methodology here. Whatever I've written, I can copy paste and let's say let's say this is my experimental method. So let's say this is what I want to put and copy paste. Just like Word, methodology. Okay, okay, I want to show you a few things that just so you know, I've used this before, and now I'm better off not using this autocomplete. Okay, at the side here ada the gear symbol. You click on that, turn off this autocomplete. Mula saya buka kagum lah, I was very surprised. Oh, I can do this paper in one day. But then afterwards it becomes annoying. You try to think, suddenly it's already gives you another idea. Kan? Okay. Again, Jenny, uh, my, I think I'm quite confident Jenny is using ChatGPT LLM and at the back side is using ChatGPT. But as like GPT is already fine tuning it just for research and giving all this information about papers and things like that. Okay. I've experimented by just using this autocomplete, and what I get is not something like this. So if you are a novice in general writing, you will say, "Oh, it's very good. Then you can help me do introduction, everything." What you will get is something like this. There is no end to your introduction. I do. That's why it's important for you to know the basics. If not, I like now. I can put in 5 paragraphs of introduction, and you will say, where is your research here? Where is your objective? I will see. Okay. So as I mentioned, even if I'm using this, I might use it for just first paragraph, just the introduction. Welding is what and what's the definition of welding. Even if you say somewhere, it's going to be the same definition of welding or the application of welding. Usually, definition, types, history probably, advantage, application. And disadvantage, you don't put it there. Why? Because you want to put it in your research step or your objective. Meaning to say, even though ada tumpak itu ini and your advantage, but there's still lacking of this. So usually it's five definition, advantage, application, types, and then also the history lah. Yeah. So yes.
Strategy or ChatGPT?
For this one, I prefer Jenny. Prefer Jenny. Okay, I'll show you why. So let's say this is, for example, I'm already okay with this. Again, this probably it's already 200 words. So if you say accept, you already finish your words for today. So see you tomorrow. But let's say one good thing about Jenny is that it gives you proper citations. It's not fake. The amazing thing about this is, let's say if you, I don't have to use autocomplete, I want to write my own. For example, let's say, this is my own word. Well, it's the art of joining two metals together. I'm doing it reverse. Usually, you read something, you try to find a paper that is related. What I can do now, this is, I'm not, example here. I highlight, go to site. Okay, immediately you pop up this, go to site. It will give you all the relevant papers related to that word or that sentence. One more time. This you highlight. Immediately you will come up. Okay, go to site. It gives you the relevant papers, even the part where it is relevant to that particular sentence. This one, I can cite this, Let's say I want to cite this. You get your citation. I want to cite this. You get citation. Okay. Where, let's say, where is the relevancy of this paper to your sentence? See more. This is the sentence inside. You don't have to open the paper anymore. The speaker, it's related. Yes.
The article is very
Edit. You give him all the scientific, you want to know the answer, click you. Scientific report, and it's a real answer. These are very, you cannot get this as detailed as ChatGPT. That's why for writing, remember ChatGPT for literature review, right? For writing, I suggest. You have all this. Ni macam shopping lah kan. Okay, one four, go for. Really relate or not, it reads for you lah. You say, okay, this is related. You go check lah kan. If you say this is related, then you already have. I already have four right now. Okay. The only drawback for this one pula, kan, even though that's why in the first place the title should be specific lah kan. That's why I say click from. You need to say, okay, now I understand this fellow is writing about welding, writing about microstructure. Okay, I put all the relevant papers here. At one point you realize that some of the citation already recurring a lot lah. So maybe it's a little bit limited lah here, maybe 20 something like that. Paper that is going to be suggested a lot. Okay, what you do is you have library here. So this you can put your own all the other papers, relevant papers that you have. And let's say here I've already put some from other workshops I've done. Yeah, the collections, for example. Okay, you can put your own lah. So let's say from your sources here. Okay, let's say I want to add more. Okay, let's say I think because I've read this paper, I think it's relevant. Just cite as you go like that. Okay, already 3 papers added. So citation becomes very, very easy. The only issue with the free version on this part, dia punya reference tak kan apa. You go down to your reference, tidak. Free version. So yang ni dia tak bagi. Yang atas ni dia bagi. But here references, it won't give you the list. It's blurry. But you can see that how powerful it is. Here, I can click here. It says here, search 2,600 styles. So they say, I don't want this kind of style. I want IEEE style. Oh, very easy. Yeah. I don't know lah if your Kulliyyah is generous enough to give everybody of a free version of this one, the subscription version, but this one thing very powerful in engineering, which I don't see anywhere else. Another thing is, let's say, this one I use a lot when it comes to engineering. Let's say this is your sentence. You make your own sentence. Remember, writing is also thinking. So my suggestion, right? Grammar tu kadang is okay kan. Okay, don't worry about your grammar, just write your idea first. Okay, this is my idea, for example. Grammar is haywire. So what I do, I highlight this. I have the editing. Click on this edit. It gives me a lot of options. I want to improve fluency. I want to paraphrase. I want to simplify. I want to strengthen my argument. I want to add a counter argument. Even for the improved fluency, I have I want to fix flow issues properly. I'm not good at making it flow very nice. Okay. Paraphrasing, what type of paraphrasing you want? Academically, casually? Of course, we want to go for academically. Okay, let's say I want to paraphrase it back more academic lah. Janice writing. And quiet. Start again. Let's say probably the one that I want to paraphrase academically. So just this particular sentence, it fixes going on. Grammar and also make it okay, you read not I don't like this. I want to try again. Try again. Fix it for you until you're satisfied. Okay, now I'm satisfied. Replace. If you click replace, immediately it will add up the 200 word per day. In my case, unlimited. I want to replace a lot of times. It's okay. So okay, now you have more. Let's say it's too long. I want to make it simplify it a little bit. Simplify it academically. Then make it shorter. Help you make shorter, but still the grammar is there, the everything, the sentence structure is perfect. Finish. So what I suggest, do that for methodology. This is my methodology, for example. Okay, maybe it's a bit long, so I want to improve. So improve fluency, for example. Okay. Let's turn up everything else. Usually it's one again. If not, try again or anything else lah kan. So Jenny is one powerful app that I'm using. I'm to the point that ni lah, just I subscribe lah kan. But if you are interested, you can try. Just the free version is also enough. And try it, 200 words per day. I don't know when I'm not compared the price for Jenny and also Brandly and whatnot lah kan. So and I'm not saying that there's not good software lah. If you have, for example, in UMPASA, we already have Brandly for free lah for the staffs. Student no lah. Tapi for the staff we have Brandly for free. That's for our faculty. So depends lah kan. But boleh sama-sama write petition to your faculty Kulliyyah ke apa, to the team. The team is not here, but probably because you have to remember one thing, this almost eliminates the need for proofreading. And you're okay. For one, if I'm not mistaken, for one full year is around 300 ringgit. 300 ringgit is almost the same as one proofreading for one paper. Agree? Anybody here did proofreading before? 200, 300 is usually and if you are for review paper and you have like 20 pages, then it's going to be 300 ringgit. And so you can just subscribe to this one. I don't know if your UC that's you. You can ask probably from the grants that you have, right? For the proofreading services too, rather than just one paper for 300 ringgit or 200 ringgit, one 300 ringgit for this. You can use it for unlimited for unlimited papers. That's my suggestion lah. Off record yang kata saya paksa tak ada So it's up to you. Again so in the end, I close this autocomplete. I much prefer I write myself first, so that the computer understands my flow of thinking, for example, right? And then you improve lah. Interestingly, I've done this with one paper. For the methodology, it won't detect the AI detection. Introduction, yes. But methodology results, even though I'm using ChatGPT, Jenny, which is ChatGPT lah, basically, to improve the paper, doesn't detect as AI. Probably because it's very specific. This is a specific number lah for my study 9.3, 1120. It's very specific. So again it comes back to AI detection. If it's very common, then it will detect. But if it's very specific to your case, then it will, and if you say, this is unique, so we don't consider this as AI. Okay, so that's part of the things I can show you with the limited time. You have in UAE, you have a Microsoft 365?
Yes.
Yes, okay. As a last thing I want to show you, napkin, cannot try to take a look at napkin. Have you seen napkin before?
Yes.
Not the one in the picture. Napkin is for visuals. If you want to make a schematic diagram, very powerful. Used to be free, totally free. Just I think 2 weeks before this start to have premium as well and premium version. But I've been using it for 2 years already I'll show you. Okay, very quickly because we have already 10 more minutes. Very quickly, hopefully it's okay. So if you have a sentence and you want to present, then rather than thinking of how to present it in a nice way, it can design for you. And in fact, it is a formula, it's simple work. But what I'm showing you here, for example, this is from napkin. This is from napkin. And from your thesis or your article writing, you just copy paste in napkin and ask napkin to make your diagram. This is from napkin. And there's some more. For example, I don't know why the tak boleh nak masuk, but yeah, you can try it out and see it's quite very intuitive lah, senang, very simple to use. Just put in your copy paste your text and then you get. I want to show you finally in terms of your Microsoft PowerPoint, because we're talking about AI. Okay, there's one powerful feature in PowerPoint that is underutilized. Okay, I'm just taking from my slide. It's okay. Don't need to know in detail. Yes, there's some internet connection issues. Okay. The good thing is UNE and also UMPASA have Microsoft 365, because the requirement to use this feature is to use the online version. Meaning you have to have internet lah. Okay. Open any of your slide. I'll show you where you can find this. It's a little bit hidden. Go to slideshow. Okay. At the tab here, go to slideshow. Okay. Open any of the slides. Okay. Open new slide is also fine. Go to slideshow. There should be this option, rehearse with coach. Have you seen this? Rehearse with coach. It was not here before. I mean, 2020 started. I think it started in 2020. Rehearse with coach. Before this, we have research timing. What we do, what I do, I'm not sure if you do it or not, especially for students, you click rehearse timings, then it starts the digital clock. You don't have to use your phone. So you talk, and then you go to this one, and then you go to this one. And now you can see that this starts back to 0, and this one is still counting continuously. So what happens if I click escape? Okay, it says here your slideshow you use 22 minutes. Okay. If I go here to this slide sorter, okay, I will get this number. Bottom. Meaning to say, now I know for each slide, this one I use 7 seconds. But this one I know this slide I use 7 seconds. And this slide 5 minutes. This one 2 minutes. So you can actually see where exactly is the slide that you use the most in order to cut down something. But that is the traditional way. I'm showing you. I want to show you the new way. Okay, so coming back to rehearse with coach. Okay, now we have rehearse with coach. If this is not available for you, means that you are using the offline version or you don't have Wi-Fi. If you have Wi-Fi, then it will pop up. Okay. What is so great about this one? Yeah. Let me click this one. Okay. You will go immediately to your slide, and then because of internet issue, it's not okay. Unclick this one. Show real-time feedback. Unclick, and you start your scene. So allow me maybe 30 seconds, just me practicing. For example, I'm practicing for my Bible. This is me practicing. Okay. So I start. Hello, everyone. This is Luqman Hakim Ahmad Shah. I want to discuss about Bachelor of Learning Technology with Honors. This is the workshop tentative. You can see first day, 32nd September 2025, and we have the day 2, 23 September 2025. Okay, here's today's task, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you very much. I press escape. Immediately, what I'll be getting is a thorough report of my presentation practice. Okay. Now you have summary, 30-second spent for 3 slides. Probably I should go more, but just for example. I know my pace, which is in my case 123 words per minute. The best pace is between 100 and 150. If I go too slow, then it will show me you're going too slow. Speed up. Fillers. Purposely I put in 30, maybe you didn't realize, but this is where you know, oh, actually I got a lot of anyway, so I have to practice more. You have your average pace as well. So within the time frame of 30 seconds, I speed up a little bit and then I slow down. Repetitive language, if let's say I like to say this, probably will highlight lah. Okay, you should use it another word. Pitching. So you have, I mean now, so you see, they say you are not monotonous lah. A little bit monotonous at one point, and you can actually revise your own. And this uniquely your own. You don't have to do it practice in front of your friend in your room. Can do this originally. So this one, particularly if you are students, if you're nervous, we put everything in the slide so that it will read. It will highlight you. You are reading from the slides. And that's how intelligent the AI is. You will see what you're saying is exactly what is in the slide. So we'll say here, make sure you try to explain. Slides is just bullet points, then you just explain. All of this is not available when I was doing my PhD. Now you have this, if you're going to use it, it's free. Microsoft 365. You practice yourself, you know where your weak points are, maybe your base, your tone, your filler, everything, and then it will help you make better presentation. Finally, depending on scale and active example that you can do. Okay. So you log in with your Google account. Make sure you star this line. Hopefully kamu tak lupa apa nama issue ke, ambil members is okay. I want to show. I wrote this down. And 3 progressive levels of AI mastery. I wrote this down, but I want to make a presentation about this. I want to make it more engaging, not just PowerPoint. Especially for lecturers. So let's say I want to make this into a schematic diagram. What I do, I highlight. Actually, I don't have to highlight. You will see when I move my cursor here, there's a thunderbolt here, right? Okay, generate visuals here. Okay, click here. And then it makes this AI magic. Now you have your visuals. Free of charge, a lot of visuals you can do. All related to this one. All are very beautiful. So let's say, okay, I want this style. I like this style. I want this style. I click on the style here. It also changes the style, basically. The font and everything. Even for cover, I don't think it's possible. Cover. So let's say I decide with this one. This is editable and very best thing. And it's editable. So you can actually click. I don't want this. I want to put something else. I want a different picture here. Can change this one. Okay, change my color here to something else. Okay. Change the color, change the font, change everything. And now once you have this, you can export PNG, SVG, PDF, PTN. One light mode, dark mode. Sekarang ni dah ada hard. Usually before this, I use this 2 years ago. Now no limit. Even in fact, for books, if you want to do your books, make your book more beautiful using this. And yalah, apa nama ni, this kind of AI generation is not unethical lah, because the content is ni kan, just schematics lah. Kalau you want to make microstructure apa then of course you can use AI lah. This one is okay. So you can use this for your slides and also your book. Okay, try to finish as soon as possible. Any questions? General article. Usually we also have this kind. For example, global warming, for example. That's what I mentioned. What I understand, this is okay, because this is. Even if you don't use Hakim, for example, you're going to use PowerPoint, you're going to use Photoshop, and you're not if you are manipulating like okay, in a car you have a lot of gear and so all of these components you use AI, probably it's not inaccurate. It's not nothing to do with accuracy in terms of the cells or anything like that. So what's the point of, I mean, why it's not, it's just design, just like you are focusing on the design. So with that, I end today. I want to give you a bonus on this here. Probably you are wondering what of other apps. So I have this ebook, more than, I think there's 60 AI apps inside this book about research and writing. As I mentioned, there are 4 quadrants that I actually took time to list down all, and I put, okay, this the main the strength of this app is in quadrant 1, so I put in quadrant 1. Not only that, I put the explanation of the app, the pros and cons, and my own star rating. My own star rating, I have 5 star, full 5 star. If let's say there is a lot of free, the app is generous, so you can use a lot. For example, Jenny, so I give 1 star. If immediately ask for my credit card, 0 star lah for the usage. So, but everything else and what it can be integrated in other things. So there's several star rating. Anybody interested in this one? Actually, I'm going to give it for free for everyone. So just please pay for my my health and my family's this. So this one I'll give you the for this. Okay, lastly, for the masters and PhD students, especially the PhD students, I think my own experience, masters and PhD is 2 different worlds. Masters, you can actually reiterate somebody else's work, just expand it, but PhD you have to have a certain level of new knowledge. So this was also my experience during my PhD, whereby we have this what I call as Dunning-Kruger effect. What is Dunning-Kruger effect? The more you know, you have the tendency to be more confident. It's kind of a weird thing, but usually people who don't know a lot will become more arrogant and say, I know a lot. Okay, looking back at myself, probably here was when I graduated from mechanical engineering. Graduated mechanical engineering, I know engineering. I think I know everything about engineering. And then I said, okay, why not I continue? Now the plot thickens. Suddenly I said, more. In my case, after my PhD, I realized, wow, man, I'm never going to understand this. At one point, I was here. If you feel stupid during your PhD, I think you are in the right track. Seriously speaking. That's, I think, the price of your PhD. To feel at one point you are stupid. And I think that's also Allah's way or God's way to make you well. Okay. You know everything, right? Now you know lah. Let me figure it out. So this is my feeling as well. But I try to keep that feeling up to now, so that I still try to be humble lah. Even though you're doctorate, the prof or whatever. Remember one time you also felt stupid as well. So whenever I see my students don't understand, I don't say, ni pun tak tahu ke? You have to be human yourself. You were once at that stage, you don't know anything. So don't worry, if you are in this stage, you feel stupid, move on. That's one of the requirements in your PhD. Remember back this. I've heard some people even their significant other, they ask the significant other to call them doctor. Your wife, you ask your wife to call you doctor. It's too much about education. So hopefully after that you feel okay, it's complicated. So now you are in this realm of imposter syndrome, we call it. You are already an expert, but still feel I think there's a lot more. I'm the best. Okay, so I wish you all the best. I welcome you to follow me. I have a TikTok account, Dr. Luqman Shah here, and also this is my Facebook. I have a group in Facebook, Diskusi Perancangan PhD Bagisan. I'm going to give you this slide tomorrow, and then you can follow me there. So again, thank you and all the best. Hopefully, you gain something from today. Hopefully, we'll meet again afterwards. Okay, thank you very much. Just ada a few books left. If anybody interested, the recording is there. Q&A if you want.
Final round of question and answer, if you have any. Ada? Tak ada. Betul tak ada? Any final questions? We can allow one or two. Tak ada dah. Okay, just two questions. In case in the future we decided to actually organize another workshop like this, would you want to come? Yeah. Today is one paper. Alright. First and foremost, we would like to thank Luqman for raising us, sharing the knowledge that he has. I believe my personal thing, it's both mind-boggling and mind-blowing at the same time. And again, another personal take of mine is that just like your brain, we are yet to max out the potential of the AI labs, okay? So hopefully everyone will go back and reflect, explore more. And again, thank you for coming. Hopefully, inshallah, if we have the opportunity to organize another workshop in the future, hopefully that you guys will right? Okay, before we end the session, I would like to invite Dr. Zamani, accompanied by Dr. Azmi, to give a token of appreciation to our respected speakers. Thank you, Dr. Azmi. So that marks an end to our workshop today. Hopefully you have, it has been a very fruitful session and you have gained lots of benefit from this particular workshop. And hopefully, hopefully, safe journey, have a good lunch and have a good day ahead. Okay? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Tidak,